Tubula magazine safa indlala. Tubula magazine safa indlala.
A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out my fair too.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that one. I've stolen it.
Welcome everybody. Welcome, my semi-finalists. Welcome to teams that are in the last four. We're going to be speaking about what's going to go down tomorrow. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. This, of course, is the Overthinking Football Show. The show airs every Monday to Thursday, 7 o'clock during AFCON, but usually 8 o'clock. And then also on Fridays at 12:30, where I'm up at the guys who financially contribute towards the show can come in and tell me what they want to speak about on Fridays. We also have a WhatsApp group where I am available and they're available 24 hours, where we go back and forth over a ton of different topics. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then for just 20 Rand a month, you'll be able to join the WhatsApp group and we can have incredible conversations as we do here, but without the time limits. Now, if you've ever watched the show before and you hear voices, people are always talking on the show and jumping onto panels and all of that. And if you're watching on YouTube and on Facebook, just know that if you do want to add your voice to the show, you have to follow me on TikTok. Join me while I'm live on TikTok, and then you can join one of the panels. Request at the bottom of your screen. There's a button that says multi-guest. You can click on it, request, jump inside, and then we can have a conversation about whatever we're going to be speaking about on that day. Today's topic, of course, just so happens to be a very, 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 very important day. Tomorrow. It's the semi-finals of AFCON 2023, and it's come down to 4 teams. Ivory Coast, DR Congo, Nigeria, and South Africa. Of course, we've got the Ivory Coast and DR Congo game, but also we've got that grudge match, man. That grudge match. Whenever us and Nigeria face off, that grudge match versus Nigeria that we're going to speak about today as to what we think is going to happen, how we should approach the game, and how we see this going out. Already, I see people.
bathi ukusheka ngesulu nje yami.
Oh, Kaizer.
Waqaqasela why you qaqaseling my brother? Relax go.
Why are you qazazeling, my brother agent? It's not time to shake, man. Yeah, it's not time to shake. We've beaten the number one team in Africa. It's not time to shake. But let's start off with the DR Congo versus Ivory Coast game. Yo, guys, when they say underdogs, this is what I mean when underdogs are playing. These are two teams. Ivory Coast has 2 losses, including one when they lost 4-0. People are crying in Ivory Coast because, you know, they as the host nation, you expect the host nation to go far. You expect the 12th man to be behind them. You expect them, you know, to find the 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th gear. And this team hasn't played well. Let's be honest. This team has not played well. But the home team just so happened to be riding the wave of having it hosted at home, and they've made it all the way to the semifinals. DR Congo, on the other hand, drew all of their group stage games. All of their group stage games were drawn, as well as the draw with Egypt, which they won, which then took them to a 3-1 win versus Guinea, and that set up this semifinal versus the Ivory Coast. So it's 2 teams who aren't necessarily burning down the tournament with their form. They're not incredible when it comes down to the play that they've played or they've displayed, during this tournament. And we're going to see, you know, one of those games that is probably going to be ugly. When you look at how Ivory Coast plays, Ivory Coast tends to sit back, almost absorb as many punches as they can before coming out later on in the match and putting on Abu Kesi, putting on Abu Pepe, and overwhelming the other team in the last 10, 15 minutes. That has been their style of play up to this point. As I said about the Congo is a little bit exciting, but issue is that they keep conceding. So I don't think this is going to be a barn burner of a game. I don't think we're going to see a million goals coming in. But I do believe that these guys are most probably going to go to penalties, 1-1. That's my prediction for that. So I'm going to open up, guys. We're going to start off with this game. Then I know we're going to get into the game that you guys want to speak about. Hey, this one, that's up here. The one that we've all been waiting for. And we had incredible comments yesterday. Hey, my comment section last night was incredible. It was when Nigeria and South Africa was just mentioned. Guys, remember that you have to be following me in order to jump in. Multi-guest button, bottom of your screen. Click on that button. I let you in. You add your voice to the show live. So let's see who is here. Don't hide, guys. I know some of you are hiding because you want to speak about Bafana Bafana and not this game. Come on. How are you, my brother? Nakim Nati, man. I'm a semi-finalist. I've been saying it, man, since yesterday. I'm a semi-finalist.
It sounds good, ne?
It sounds so good.
For us, it's a common thing. Like, relate to this thing of semi-finals, you know?
Yeah. Hey, violence.
No, but I'm saying, like, yo, it's nice, eh? Welcome. It's been a while.
Tell me, Kumo, Ivory Coast, DR Congo. What do you think of this matchup?
Oh, Tumagai Opel, wow. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, wow. Ivory Coast, DRC. First of all, I don't believe... Actually, Ivory Coast shouldn't be there, man. Honestly, Mara, I like the story behind, you know, reaching the semi-finals, firing a coach midway, you know, getting an interim coach to produce such things. It's what makes this tournament exciting overall. And of course, there are dance challenges. But honestly, I think DRC is going to take it in the sense of like, as much as you say they concede, but like when they play as a unity, and when they attack as well. And defensively, man, as much as they concede, it comes from more than ball, man. We attack, and obviously we're gonna leave a lot of pocket spaces so when people to exploit that one. I think DRC is gonna win it, even though I'm hesitant to say it because we know Ivory Coast have the 12 men behind and they wanna prove to the world already we actually deserve it. Finishing 3 and almost didn't making it. Losing our coach was no fluke. But yeah, man, they're the luckiest team compared to us. Even everyone keeps saying, "Oh, we are lucky." The supercomputer has Nigeria and Ivory Coast as like the favorites to actually lift it, and it should be the other way around. I believe Bafana will defeat Nigeria, and DRC will defeat Ivory Coast, and Bafana will take it. So yeah, man, that game, it's so hard to speak about, honestly, because of the headline game. It's us and Nigeria. I think this is the biggest game of the tournament, regardless of the semi-final. Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep you on. Don't worry, I'm gonna keep you on. For that one. But before I move on, Kumo, but DR Congo tends to draw. And they've drawn, 4 games up to this point. 4 out of 5 games have been drawn. And Ivory Coast likes those odds.
Ish, Luana gonna get into what you call
Best
them?
of that place.
Yeah, penalty specialist. But you know what, man? Draw is sharp. Draw is not a lose. And the draw is regular. So obviously, like you said, like we're not gonna see a firecracker of the game because there's no drama, there's no rivalry, we're gonna to add to the Mara. One thing that I know, because of Ivory Coast is gonna wanna prove a point to everyone, they're gonna over attack. And because of DRC doesn't have to prove anything to anyone, they're gonna be compact in the back, and they're gonna sucker punch Ivory Coast about in this tournament.
Okay. Let me bring you Chero. How are you?
I'm okay. John.
Hi, man. Mina, I've been smiling since Saturday.
Hey, but that game was tight, eh?
It was tight, Mara. Oksala is winning, Chero.
Yeah, bottom line, fella, that's what counts.
Tell me, what do you think of Ivory Coast, DR Congo?
Hey, I think Kumo just took the words out of my mouth, man. I think for me, that game is going to be too much for Ivory Coast because the pressure ball, the whole country is watching them, and they will want to attack from the first whistle. So DRC, their game plan is simple. As long as maybe they survive the first 20 minutes, for me, that will be an achievement for them. Once they gain confident, you remember the game Cote d'Ivoire got 4-0. Was it 4-0 or 4-1?
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, the pattern was the same. Those guys are playing at home, they have to attack. Once they attack, these guys, they counter, they score 1, they attack more, they score 2, they attack even more. So if it happens, maybe in the first half, if DRC survive and it's 0-0, second half, once they get a goal, then it can be a disaster. Like I think they were playing against Guinea. Yeah?
Yeah, they were playing against Guinea 3-1.
Yeah.
Congo.
Yeah, so I think for even Congo, if you look at their results, they don't consider a lot of goals.
Yeah,
so they are set up for me now. I think in Congo penalties or 1-0 extra time for me.
Okay. Aren't you worried about this draw thing? Because I think if it remains maybe 0-0, 1-1, Ivory Coast might just come in the last 10 minutes and take it, as they've surprised other teams leading up to this point.
But that's the thing, the pressure, and there's a lot of things happening in that team. It's not stable. It's not a stable team because the coach they released the coach. Pepe has been playing from the bench. The crowd wants him in. So it's not stable. So I don't think Uguti, if it's 0-0 for me, I still say it favors DRC. The crowd is going to be against them all the way. And one mistake, it's going to be game over. So for me, now, if I was a DRC coach, I would say pack the bus, leave one man up front for the first 60 minutes or so. Let's frustrate them, let's gain confidence, let's make sure we don't concede, because it can be vice versa too. If they concede early, they might concede another one. Now they force them to go up the Congo to try and find an equalizer, and it can be bad. So I don't think it's gonna be an open game. It's gonna be more of a one-sided game, but the scoreline might tell a different story,
Okay. No, Jero.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back. Let's give the match its respect, because I know everybody's waiting to talk about this big one. Master Icon, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm Nandi. Ever since Saturday, I've been fine. I've been happy. Tell me, Master Icon, what do you think of this game, Ivory Coast, DR Congo?
Yeah, man. For me, the Congolese have an upper hand here. Ne? Ivory Coast have not been playing decent since their first game. I think what helped them with the Mali game was the fact that Mali slept on the last 15 minutes of the game, and they got punished for it. And the extra time it showed, they didn't have much strength, hence they won with penalties. But now with the DRC, like we didn't predict that they're gonna be this far, and it's like another Cape Verde thingy. But I think if DRC managed to score about two goals before the first half ends, then they're gonna bury the game. But if they have that 1-0, then they sleep at the last minutes. You see this thing out pack up bus in the last 15 minutes, it's gonna cost them. So for me, they have to bury the game in the first 45 minutes so that the Ivory Coast won't be able to have any plan, because their structure is bad. They fired the coach. There's currently like a lot in that squad. Remember, there's politics as well on why we didn't see Wilfred Zaha. There's a bigger name that's missing there, and like Jero said, Pepe has been playing from bench as well, and that's a factor considering that Pepe is one of the big names they have. So if DRC scores about 2 goals before that 45 minutes, the game will be done. But if they have 0-0, then the game gets to second half with that 0-0, then they'll be in trouble.
But can they score that 2 goals? Because they've been throwing, most of their games have been drawn outside of the game versus Guinea. Most of the games have ended drawn at full time, 90 minutes.
Yeah, but I think with the mindset that they have right now, the plan is to actually prove themselves and go to the finals. And with the Ivory Coast, it's a home thingy, so they have the advantage of the supporters. They have, it's their home. There's the pressure that comes to them. But I think, DRC can manage to pull a 1 or 2. Anything can happen. After all, this is football, man. We don't believe in miracles, but they are roller, and
No, thank you, Master Icon. Let me go to Darren. How are you?
Good as it, my man.
No, I'm great, my brother. I'm great. How does it feel to be a semi-finalist?
I've been in the same mood as you since Saturday, my man.
No, I
won't lie. Same.
What do you think of this Ivory Coast DR Congo game?
No, I think in terms of physicality, the guys are quite meshed. They're playing kind of football where you bump the cheese up and you hope for the best. So I think it's quite an unpredictable game. The guys don't really have a heavy combination play. If you check their midfield, they always are relying on like strong individual players in the midfield to break through the lines. But it's quite a difficult one to predict. But in terms of the run that Congo has had, I don't really believe that they'll have an upper hand against Ivory Coast. At least on the final third, Ivory Coast, you can tell that in most of their games, especially before the AFCON started, the game that we had against them,
Yeah.
when they really came through in that game, you can see that actually these guys know how to put the ball down and actually try and make up something. But for the game that's coming, I don't see Congo really doing much. Because you can rely on luck in most games and physicality, like Congo has done throughout the tournament, where most of their breakthroughs, they were luck. Unlike us, where you can tell that we actually trying something. The combinations are there. Even though in the final third, it doesn't really work out, but you can tell from the build-up that actually there's consistency in the game.
Okay.
But with Congo, you can't really tell where they're strong. You can't really tell and predict as to how they're gonna approach the game, and their passes are quite weak. They're not there in terms of the quality of football that you expect in the tournament. Obviously, it's been an unpredictable one, and it's understandable because you can't manage unpredictable situations. But I think if Ivory Coast can control the game, the way they kind of like dominated us towards the game before the AFCON started, if they manage to do that, definitely they'll get something in the game. And it's all about those moments where you gain control of the game.
Yeah.
And so far, what I've seen with the DRC is, if you can manage to dominate the ball and get control of the game, you are done with the team. And it's the same strength that Bafana has had. But obviously, we had to abandon that to the kind of football that you adjust as the game goes on and as the game dictates that you should. But should DRC control the game within the first 15 minutes, it's chai for Congo. I don't see them going through.
If it hits
Probably
0-0,
2-1.
70th minute.
If it hits 0-0, then it's anybody's game. You know, it's
Okay.
anybody's game. Whoever scores before the 90 wins the game. If it goes to penalties, I see Ivory Coast going through. Because it's all about calm heads. You can tell who's more calm in the final third. You can tell which team is actually more calm. Like the previous game on Saturday, you can tell who's more calm in the final third. If Bafana had more chances than our opponents did, you know we could have buried 2 or more, right? But it's all about who's more calm in the final third in the midfield. If those players are not calm, then definitely, I guarantee, if Ivory Coast dominate the first 15 minutes,
Yeah.
they're definitely taking the game through.
Okay.
Definitely.
Let me bring in stepfather. How are you, my brother?
Sharp man, how are you?
I'm on cloud 9. Good top 4. Tell me, stepfather, what in this game, Ivory Coast, DR Congo?
You know, OT, what I've noticed about Ivory Coast in this tournament, it's like they don't know what they're doing. You can even score 4 goals because they're just there. It's like they say, go and play. But the minute you allow them to come back to the game, I was off. Because win. And I can tell you with the past 3 games, they don't know how they won, but they won. Because in the past 3 games, teams have been scoring first, they come back, and then they find the goal to win. They don't know how, but they do it. So with them, you can't predict what. But if TRC have been watching their games, then they can beat them. Babulela, why game is because Makali game is like they don't even know what's Bazo was on the ground. They just go inside there, they wait for you to score, and then they whatever they say to each other, it's working for them for now. But if Congo can capitalize on that, just beat them with first half and come back defend, then you can beat them. That's the only way to beat them.
How important is home ground advantage going to be? Because we saw the Ivory Coast fans, Bakal, they were crying at some point during this tournament, angry at their team. Now they got happy and it seemed to fire their team up. How important is home field advantage?
One thing about
Home
those
country.
fans, they are behind their team. Even though they were disappointed in Cullen, but they are behind their team, and it's working for them because it's orange. The whole the ground mark Jalabon, it's orange. So those guys are behind the Ivory Coast team. Even though at first they were disappointed, but then they came back. They did not say, "Well, they came back, and it's working for them. So he support him. It's giving them that thing. Which guys, you can do it. Even though it's not a team, but you can do it because Ivory Coast, there's no team there. It's just the players who want to win, and they are doing it. Yeah,
Can let's say it's 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. Will those fans still be on board?
Hey,
If
these
DR
guys,
Congo-
they managed to come back. Those fans, I mean, they've shown what they love their team. They will still be there. They will sing up until, even though you know, those, even though but they will still be there because
Yeah.
they want to see their team doing well. If it was here in South Africa, if our team qualified, qualifying out to go through to the knockout stages, we're right grounded. Because we are too quick to give up. But those guys that are behind their team, they're supporting them. It's like Israel Samasen. They're behind them. So even if Congo can score 2 goals, still they will be there. Senegal scored the first goal in, I think it was 4, if not 3 minutes. But they were still there to support their team. So they don't give up in their team.
Okay. Let me just read some of the comments. Master Icon says, yeah, if Congo do not bury it in the first half, they're dead. Peniel says there's a video on Twitter where Williams is clearly heard trying to remember the AFCON penalty script. It's a script, Peniel. Master Icon says penalties will be hard because Congo won with penalties against the Egyptians. Ivory Coast have done very well as a host, even if they can lose it, says Umta 1000. Butiza says end of the road for DRC. Reality says the reality is that Ivory Coast is going to win 2-0. Mshika says Ivory Coast will lose. They have 2 red cards on their first 11 players. I'm not sure. I think they were erased. I'm not sure. But we'll see as they go with it. Notando says you nearly killed me on Saturday. Notando, I didn't do anything. It was your team that did that to you. I was just a vessel who was also going through the roller coaster. Savelo says time for bashing our boys is over. I can see Osman crying already, says Zeus. Agent says he's shaky. Yeah, he's shaky. Guys, I try beyond time. Okay. I want to go into the Bafana match. The Bafana versus Nigeria match. But before I start that, I just want to play a tiny audio when I was watching people speaking about this Bafana Nigeria match. I wanted to find out, Gucci man, what are people thinking about us? And this interesting quote came up. I'm going to play it and then I'll set the table and you can come in.
I heard a dear friend recount to me was that Nigeria are the bigger brothers, South Africa are the little brothers. And the bigger brothers always tend to win. They get the wedgies in, they get the nuggies in. But every now and again, the little brother get that little dig, that little cheap shot. Do you think this could be, do you think Wednesday's semi-final could be one of those days where the little brother emerges victorious?
I think that as much as the feeling in the country is that if ever there were to be a time for it, it would be now. Nigeria are still the team with the better history, still the better team on paper. South Africa living a little bit of a charmed life at the moment, but showing remarkable grit and resilience that's been lacking in recent Africa Cup of Nations tournaments. But I think I'm still leaning towards a Nigeria win.
I spoke to Hugo Bruce after the.
I just wanted to play that part. There is a way that the world views Ibafana Bafana, and to a degree, there's a way that we view Ibafana Bafana when they go out to play. Of course, this is the game versus Nigeria, as the people said on that it's ESPN FC guys. They say that we're living a charmed life. Nobody was expecting this. He goes on to speak about how Hugo Bruce made the point that nobody was supporting the team when they left South Africa a month ago to come and play these games. Nobody expected anything, and here they are. Now we're up against a Nigeria team that, again, looks incredible on paper, but hasn't been playing the most incredible football. I think Nigeria's defense, that's where the incredible lies. They've conceded one goal all tournament long, just one goal. Up front, of course, they lean on Osimhen, they lean on Lookman to be the ones who are going to push them through. And everybody were expecting them to go and bash us, seeing as in Nigeria is the higher ranked team. It's the highest ranked team left in this tournament. I believe they are 24 points ahead of us. They're on 42. We are on 66 in terms of world rankings. So everybody's expecting that. But what I've enjoyed the most about Bafana Bafana, through all the negativity, through all the mistakes, through all the tactical player choices, everybody going crazy at them, not believing, they've been able to give us some solid performances. Very, very solid performances. Namibia was a solid performance. We needed a high scoring win to put us into the tournament, get us properly into the tournament, but also get that advantage we needed going into the Tunisia match, which we drew 0-0. Then we went on to face Cape Verde. No, Morocco. We went on to face Morocco. Number one team in Africa. Everybody expected us to lose to them. Everybody expected Morocco to completely wipe the floor with us. But we came out and played a composed game and beat them 2-0. Then we came out against Cape Verde. Cape Verde played better. I'm not going to lie. Cape Verde was the better team. Cape Verde should have won that game and converted some of those chances that they had. But even through all that adversity, still, Bafana came out and managed to get that win. Ronwen Williams, as Wahib is saying, stood out. Came out, made some crucial saves, crucial saves, including 2 minutes before full time. And also, who can forget, 4 penalties saved in the penalty shootout of that game. So up to this point, they've been able to claw, to scrap, to fight, to win. And I don't think there's been a game where we have been completely outplayed. Cape Verde was the better team, but we weren't completely outplayed. We weren't at no point, they had their chances, they should have taken them. We had our chances, but then we lost ourselves a little bit, but we weren't necessarily outplayed by Cape Verde. Now we're going into this game versus Nigeria team. Nigeria isn't necessarily the best attacking team, I believe. Nigeria isn't the best playing team at the tournament currently. It's another scrappy team, right, that just so happens to have an incredibly strong defense. I think going into this game, we're going to be tested. Physically, up front, it's a very physical game for Ukraine and Nombala. So we have to see whether we'll be able to keep up with that physicality and hold them back. Rumors have it, and story that's out, that Osimhen might not make it into this game. So that could give us an advantage. That could give us an advantage. And we could take that advantage and run with it, as we did with Ziyech being missing and Boufal from Morocco. My worry going into this game, he has traveled, okay. My worry in this game is that we don't create high quality chances. EJ in the comments right now has just made it known that we had 2 shots at goal. They had 2 shots at goal, Cape Verde versus our 6. But when you look at the 2 shots on target that Cape Verde had and the way they got those chances and how clear-cut those chances were, you can't argue that there were better chances that they could have taken. But in any case, back to the Nigeria game, I worry that we're facing one of the best defensive teams at this tournament. 1 goal in 5 games. So I'm thinking we need to create a way to score goals, and that's what we've been struggling with as the Bafana team in general. But we've been winning games through our grit. So I don't know how far the grit will take us in this game. I do still believe that we can win this. I think Nigeria isn't a standout team. I don't think they are as strong as people say. Maybe in history, maybe in our history with them, but not not when it comes down to it. I think our problems are just tactical in nature. And I always say, it's a nice place to be as a Bafana fan. We used to complain, guys, we used to complain about this team, losing. Yeah, it was 2-0, Liviwe, outplayed, what. Now we're having conversations about maybe our tactics are the things that are stopping us from taking it to the next level. And I think that is an incredible place to be when we look at where we were as Ibafana Bafana a long time ago. But before I say too much, let me hand it back to the panel. Kumo, Niger, South Africa. What do you think of...
I want to understand. Every big brother, they mean Nigeria is our big brother.
But Nigeria is a big brother. Hey, but Nigeria is a big brother. But based on history. Based on history, apparently they've had a better history than us.
Yeah, well, because we were out of the international sports because of apartheid. So do you think at the 70s, they would have won the champions like like Egypt? Why one? Then like Liverpool situation dominating during the 80s, 90s, and they are taking a slump into in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we were told to believe for a Nigeria has superstars. Like, have you ever seen a superstar playing from Nigeria this tournament? Can you honestly say, yo, that guy, man, Ronaldo should be shaking in his boots. Even their most talented player, according to them, Osimhen, he's not producing. Right now, Lookman, I never knew of Lookman until I watched Kev. I'm not saying anything. Even the other attacking player, Baragemango, Iwobi, Inacho, they aren't performing. They look like they are tired. Even their previous game, and they didn't even play 90 minutes. I don't want to use the tired fatigue excuse because you know how Sundowns has been utilized last season, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it feel much more stamina. It's a benefit. Granted, Temba, because of age, doesn't play the full 90 minutes. But when he does, sometimes only influence and impact Epala Nigeria. And also, I would like to also say, we also have the best defense. I think we only...
we've conceded two
only
goals.
conceded two. And it was because of Kulu was starting. Nahana even Balangrante were there.
That's a good point.
Clean sheets was all over. So I don't know why people always clown us. Maybe it's because like they don't follow PSL, they don't follow the KF Champions League. They always think everything in Europe is great. Because even though look on Napoli I really wonders. Also mean that if this season so I don't understand why we have to share this side. This side, it's nothing. It's similar to us. Yes, attacking wise because of guys we've got Tau, I get to Irangi, Makopa on and off. Yeah, we are a bit short. Good thing we could have used Lemutiva, Leland Foster. I wish they were here. But other than that, man, defensive. Okay, our goalkeeper is best because we know Imagari he plays for cheaper as number 2. Whatever. Our defense, I also think it's best. Our defense is top tier, I think so. Even our midfield is not bad. The only advantage, a clear, distinctive advantage over us, get the attacking factor. But we don't know who maybe Pesita who could wake up at the last game. And you know when Pesi wakes up, when Pesi is on hot form, he does things. This is the same Pesita was playing Go World Cup. Yes, Club World Cup. Yes, he scored and he also gave them a penalty, but he was scoring. He was outshining a lot of teams that side. My God, happy this game is bigger than Kev. Now people are leveraging our stuff like Hillbro, Sunnyside, and Amabiona, saying like whoever wins belongs to them. We wanna. Now they're angry because Tyler won. Or it's personal game. It's a personal game. And one thing about this game, I get we are the underdogs because we've never been favorites to win any game besides Namibia game. In Katanya, the onus is onto them to actually prove that the big boys of Africa, the big giants. Not pressure. We're gonna stick to our game plan. And one thing that I know for sure, Bruce, Bruce is the master of the teams anywhere happy. Meaning he's gonna come with this goal. Low blocking this game plan, low blocking attack there, bite, hit until you get a score. Nigeria is gonna attack us. They're gonna come at us hard. And we're gonna frustrate them. And when they're frustrated, that's how we're gonna win the game. I'm telling you, I don't think this game will go to penalties. I hope it doesn't. But yeah, if it does, I don't think Ronwen can, replicate what he did to Cape Verde, because our penalty takers, sometimes players.
But very quickly, Kumo, but very quickly, do you think the history and the type of game this is going to play on the players, whether from Nigeria and South Africa? Because you can already tell, the moment we said Nigeria and South Africa, look at how we're reacting. I don't think I've seen an AFCON game that has this much hype and build up behind it and bad blood. Do you think that that's going to enter the pitch? And could it be a factor that maybe takes you off your game? Either team?
It will. It will. Remember, this is what the Soweto derby is supposed to be or used to be. The hate is real. As much as, yes, we love each other as African brothers, but we're competing everywhere. We're competing with our women. We are competing with economically, who's the biggest, who has the best, whatever. So this is a grudge match. If anything, I think the security will also be doubled. Luckily, we're playing at a neutral venue. Imagine if this game was held go Johannesburg, go Abuja. It was gonna be, man. Or the pressure, the pressure will be there, but more so on Nigeria compared to us. So this thing, it doesn't work on us because now we thrive under pressure. We actually invite pressure for us to perform. So tomorrow we're taking it. Although it's going to be a slim lead, they're 2-1 or 1-0, but we're definitely taking it.
Okay, Chero. I want to bring you in. What are your thoughts about Nigeria, South Africa?
For me, there's a couple of reasons.
The way you started that. The way Anyway, continue.
No, man. I think for me, if you look at South Africa as a general, there's a couple of years. I mean, everything we touch turns to gold. So it's written somewhere in the stars, man. Tyler won a Grammy, Springboks. So there's a country doing well, like when it comes to arts and culture. Mentality-wise, I think somehow we're gonna pull it through. We have, if I think about it, there's a couple of factors, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, you are wrong," but the Sundowns factor, those guys, the mentality is strong. They're used to high pressure, playing together. I don't want to mention Sundowns, but because the bulk of that team is usually in these similar type of games, it's gonna favor us a lot. And our defense, like Kumo was saying, we've only conceded 2 and we've scored a lot of goals. So this thing of saying we don't score, we've scored about 6 goals. We've conceded only 2 goals, and we've managed to come through tough games. Cape Verde, we managed to find a way of winning. Morocco, they dominated ball position, but we had control of the game. It was only that penalty that that defender Hakimi missed. But if you look at it generally, there wasn't anything scary. It was just a tense game. They were pushing. But if you look at the highlights, for example, you will say, no, South African defense were okay. Hugo Bruce, he has won the AFCON. So he knows what it takes to win the AFCON. So those couple of factors, And another thing I've picked up, these guys don't score a lot of goals. If you look at their AFCON, yes, they've scored in all of their games, but it's mostly one. Only Cameroon where they score 2. Yes, they don't concede, but they don't score a lot too. So even if they can strike first, let's say maybe in the first half get a goal, we'll always be in the game because they hardly score more than one. You understand? So yeah, because I'm a South African, I'm gonna say we're gonna win, but it's gonna be a tough game, definitely.
But tell me, Jero, the same question that I asked to Kumo. Will our feud with Nigeria bring added pressure to the players on the pitch? And do you think it will affect either set of players, this thing that we have, Nigeria and South Africa?
I think the people who are going to be important there is the technical team and the support staff. I think if they allow that to creep in, then it could be dangerous for us. I think we just need to focus on the game. If the opposition, though, they think xenophobia, these guys are doing this, we are the best, then you go into the game, you can even get a red card. Because now you're going with that fighting mentality and you can't overdo it. But I think our technical team is very experienced. We need to go away from all of that. Mapiano, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. The Creme, it doesn't matter. The Hill Pro, Sanis, it doesn't matter. This is a game of football. And it's not like we are rivalries with these guys. We hardly play them.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're playing Morocco. Most of the time we're playing Zimbabwe, Lesotho. We play them like once every other 2 years. So we don't have such a big history of saying every year we are playing 2 games or 1 game, The last time we played them, I can't even remember if I think about it. So we don't have to put all of these pressures that are unnecessary. We just have to go to this game with a clear mindset, clear game plan, and leave everything else. We are friends, let us banter, let us talk here. But them, they need to focus on the game. But once you bring in all of those things, then it becomes too personal and it could be very dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Shout out to
the
Jenny.
scoreline, my prediction for the score.
Hi, Jero, we're not there yet. Emapil, I'm coming back. Emapil,
Okay.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming back. Stay on the panel. I want to send a shout out to Janine. Thank you for the gift. Thank you so much for the gift. Let's go to Master Icon. Master Icon, what are your thoughts about Nigeria, South Africa tomorrow?
Tomorrow's game, it's not gonna be easy for us. At this point, it's not just about the form that they've been carrying, but we look at the past games they have with us. They've been having an upper hand in most games. If we are lucky, or if we're lucky, we win by 1 goal. That used to be Scott Keloranti. But tomorrow is gonna be different. Nigeria has a tough defense, obviously. And there's a form of organization that they actually have in the middle. But now, Nike battle focus more country right now. I'm gonna provide criticism more on Bafana. If you look at how at most times we've been slacking at the back, there's balls that they should have won, but they didn't. And they end up exposing the goalkeeper. Right now, you have Lookman, who's been in brilliant form. Scored a brace, I think, on the last game, if I'm not mistaken. No, the game before this one. You have Osimhen, who's good as well. Just that he only scored 1 goal in the entire tournament. But obviously, we're gonna use that factor. It's not about the goals the player scores. It's about their impact. It's about the name they carry. And Osimhen has that weight I think he was brilliant last year in the Champions League as well as the Serie A. So we need a form of organization. We need to make sure that we play tight and defense. I don't want to lie. We are coming with a striker that has 1 goal in the entire tournament, playing with a striker that has about 3 goals or something. It's something, man. We're gonna need to make sure that we come with a game plan that's proper because they have a strong defense and they have currently 2 best men who are actually capable of doing the job. We have the greatest defense. We have Mvalo Vala. We have Grant. It's incredible. And on the right flank there, Nale say Mudau.
Sailor.
Yeah, Unsumbu. And I want to also appreciate Mudiba. I know people at times saying Mudiba is not, but we need to know that it's not his original position, and he's been quite good in terms of winning the balls. Though there's this ones, I remember the Moroccan game, Habakiana from his side. Hey, yeah, he used to give me chills. But tomorrow we need to make sure that we play well balanced Komorao. In terms of doing the job Kopele, if we change 1 or 2, I believe that we're gonna actually give them a problem. And this is where it come. I also come with what I said yesterday. We should not take out Tau on tomorrow's game. Tau is supposed to start. It's that game of the player is dangerous. Yes, his impact is not being there, but in this time, we're not gonna talk about form, but we're gonna talk about the player's capability. He is very capable. He only scored a penalty. He missed one, but he's capable. We know that if he runs on the right on the very right position, he can make magic. So now my say is just on the Bafana coming up with a good style. We need to make sure that we match Nigeria's level. The good defense, they have a good defense, but I think tomorrow they'll focus on making sure that they strike so that Umvala and Grant could not have like that, they could not defend like they were doing, because I think in the past games, especially the Moroccan game, they were very good. The Cape Verde game, they made few mistakes in Yana, but they are good. So Nigeria is gonna come with that thing, the attack. They put their energy on attacking, since they saw that attacking for us in terms of attack, we're not that strong. It's not a secret that we're not that strong. We have Pesita Umuran has been playing there. We have Makoba as well, but we've not been strong in the forward. But that's my point of view.
Is the feud going to play into this? Our history with Nigeria, do you think that it's going to be a factor in this game for either team?
You know, I like the fact that we have VAR now. Remember, the Nigerian South African game used to be controversial in terms of the refereeing. There used to be a lot of mistakes that they were doing there, and some of them were deliberate because remember the referees are African, most of them. At most, we didn't have a referee or or some. We got someone already out Ethiopia or Malawi or somewhere to come and officiate the match. So we have VAR right now. So it's gonna be a physical game, obviously. But I like the fact that if something is to happen, especially against us, because I know when we check the past games that we've been having, we're not playing dirty. They are the ones that they're actually playing dirty. The African teams, actually, the West African teams, they don't like play well with us. Remember the Ghana saga where it was not supposed to be a corner, but it was a corner. Then but now we have VAR, and I think it's gonna help us. Yes, there's gonna be a few then there, but it's not gonna be something apolitical in terms of the xenophobic thingy, or it's gonna be that thing. They are greater giants. Both of them, they are awesome. Like they both have history. Just that Nigeria has won the African Cup of Nations for about three times. They won the last one here at home. So tactic. So political war. Who won the Grammy? Barshapa Cherizaro on sunny side. It's not gonna be playing. Tomorrow is just gonna be that thing already. They are both giants. And
Okay. Hey, now I just feel like this game is heated for some reason. Let me go to Darren. Tell me, what do you think of Nigeria and South Africa?
Yeah, my man, I think it goes without saying, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the continent, right? I don't think Europe has, a European rivalry or some sort, like anywhere else in the world. I think maybe South America, you have Brazil versus Argentina. So Africa-wise, I think you have Nigeria and South Africa, right? And then the next thing is we must stay away from the stereotypes that the country with most European players knows how to play football, right? Because it all comes down to the basics of football. But for some reason, with what I see with Bafana Bafana, Hugo Brosi Braga managed to bring out the best out of these boys in this tournament. The motivation, for some reason, we never saw it. And I think where we most criticize Bafana Bafana is because Majita, we know what they're capable of. We've seen what they're capable of. But for some reason, how Fitlako, the continental challenges, Baleka, stamina is not there, the pace is not there, the physicality is not there, the mindset is not there. But for some reason, these tiny nuances that count the most, Hugo Bruce has mastered these boys. So coming to the game, right? I think you've played Pesitao in the past 3 games in a redundant position, right?
Okay.
He's not good tracking back. He's not good doing that. He is not good doing that. Allow the boy to play where he plays. Al-Hali, it doesn't matter where Pesitao, what the game is, what the game demands. Al-Ahli will always place Pesitao on the right, right? Because they play according to the strength of the boy, right? So what I've seen is also with Tembazwane, you lack a lot of structure in the midfield to be able to support those balls to Tembazwane without having to do a lot of tracking back. So for me in the game, drop Morena, put Pesitao where he belongs, play Mayambela, whoever you can play on the right that knows how to track back, right? Because our front 3 is lethal with Pesitao being able to make those runs, to make those cut-ins, to make those passes. Our front 3 will always be lethal like that, right? For me, Nigeria does not dissect any team, right? They struggle to do that. That's why Lookman looks like one of the best players, right? He looks like one of the best players because all you have to do, find a space behind the defense with Lookman's pace to attack, right? That's all you need to do as Nigeria, and that's what they've mostly done in the tournament. You attack with Lookman. For me, where Modao always thrived as a defensive fullback, right, is where he's up against strong attackers and he's alone on that side, right? So have Pesitao with together with Modao on that right wing. You're definitely gonna have a lot more to offer in terms of attacking in the game, right? Because the best defense in this instance, where you play against the best defensive countries in the tournament, the best form of defense is to attack, right?
Okay.
So if you see most of our attacks that come on the right side, they're always redundant because you have Tapole Morena, he's good, he's pacey, he's everything that you need on that wing, right? But the intelligence to take on players is not there. The intelligence to dissect and make proper runs is not there. You only put him there as a backup defender for Mudau, right? Where they overload the right side. But for me, we've placed Pesitao, and that's why we criticize him so much, because you're putting him in a position that he's never played. I've never seen Pesitao play on the left, right? And most of us have never seen Pesitao play in that position before. So allow Pesitao to play in the position that he plays. Allow him to make those runs. Allow Mukwena, Modao, and Pesitao to make those triangles on the right. Allow them to dissect. Allow Tembazwane to also come in and assist. Then you're going to see all those passes that we used to make on the right flank, they're not there anymore, right? All that attack we used to make on the right flank is not there anymore. And I don't think the Nigeria right back or left back is that good either.
Okay.
Mayambela on the other side, he's quite good in terms of dribbling, taking the ball, coming back to cover. He's quite good. So for us, the midfield is very strong. The midfield knows where to find one another. But where I feel like we're missing the point is we criticizing Pesitao, but he's playing in the completely wrong position. Right?
Okay.
It was a good move against Morocco to do what you need to do. Right? But now it's like, okay, do you really need to do what you need to do to get to the next round? Or do you need to go back to the basics where you play every player where they're best at delivering? Pesitao, I've never seen him making a cross on the left flank where he plays right now, right? But you would see Pesitao definitely making crosses to Mahopa where it matters, where he plays, where he's strong, where he can cut in, where he can take a defender on. Put Pesitao where he belongs.
For time's sake, I'm going to have to jump in though.
Yeah.
For time's sake, just so
No,
everybody can get in.
I talk a lot.
I just need to jump in
hundreds.
there. Let me bring it a step further. We want to Nigeria, South Africa.
Yeah, on paper it's gonna be tough, but it should be easy.
Okay.
I mean, if you manage to beat the best team in this tournament, which is Cape Verde, because in this tournament the best team so far was the team that we beat on the quarterfinals, Cape Verde.
Yeah.
So if you manage to beat those guys, then Nigeria for me, they know that Nigeria that we used to know. It's just the name Nigeria. Yes, Makon abo Lukman, abo Moses. But then without them, then I call Lut, I connects. You can't tell me about Osimhen. It's just there. He Kamalak and Mbegeda. Yeah, boy, and he's playing as a team. But what we are Caesar, but then he's not that Osimhen Lord Italy. So for me, if the boys can just come back in the crowd as if the way they did against Cape Verde, play their football it's easy to beat Nigeria because them they will come ngokuthi bona bazohlula. Then kuzobashaya lokho as kwenza iTunisia they will bazoba emotional bedlale kabi because they were thinking ukuthi bazohlula. If you manage to hold them up until the second half, ayikho into abazoyenza because emqondweni wabo vele bona they thinking ukuthi bazowin. But then our team has proven ukuthi those boys they know how to play for each other. We don't have that star player that is but then they're playing as a team, which is working for us for now. Up until now. So for me, that game, yes, it's a big game, but it's not as the game Cape Verde, where we beat the team that was in this tournament was the best.
Yeah.
So for me, that game tomorrow, it's for me. And West part they bano nwabali mapanini. Unwabali the minute see uThemba Zwane uzoshaya uvalo. The minute abona badlala eSundowns. Unwabali plays in South Africa.
Yeah.
The minute abona boThemba Zwane nabomkwena uzoshaya uvalo. The way he went to win Namibia going to our game was like, hey, they were on form. But the minute they saw those players, they say, konje ngidlala labantu laba. So for us tomorrow we're gonna win. It won't be easy, but we're winning that one. Nigeria is not that Nigeria because a swing is no one swing. It's only attackers and defenders. Playing from defense, strikers.
Do you think that the feud here, Nigeria and South Africa, is going to come into this? Do you think that it could make a heated game or take people off their game from either team?
Yeah, it's going to be heated. OT, it's going to be heated because one thing about Nigeria, they're thinking what they are Bantu Impugnat. So that's the thing. It's so bashanga because very now going to that game, when they see themselves in the finals, they're just going to play because they think already they've won. So very will be tough. This will be tense. This will be none. All we need to do is just keep them quiet. It's about back. And then go to the finals, whoever was going to go to the final with us. But that tomorrow game, for sure, we're going to the finals.
Oh, no, thank you, stepfather. I just want to say, just Rutani, Serge, Madala, Stereophonic, and Tebza. I see you guys in the queue. I'll put you guys on when I finish with this panel. Please don't jump off. Hey, this is my brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Wait.
bathini ukushika ngesulu njalo
Kaizer.
wakakasela why you kakaseling my brother? Relax.
Selling, my brother.
Because we are playing our version, eh? We are playing our light.
Yeah.
It's Facebook and Facebook Lite, you know. It reminds me of a time when I don't know who started, but I think it was Russia who said but anyways, who said what did Nigeria, Russia say? We have the mother of all bombs.
Yeah.
And then we say we have the father of all bombs, you know.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that I look at it like it's the same team playing, just that one has more individual brilliance than the other, but same tactics, same everything, you know. So it will be interesting who's gonna be playing the ball now, you know. Like Abutu Kucha is saying, it looks like we're the ones who want to play good football, you know. But I think the one who wins tomorrow is the one who's gonna play the uglier football, you know, because it's a battle of ugly football. But for me, I'm very much interested in Nigeria, you know, the way they play, because it's very interesting. They don't use the midfield. The midfield is something that is foreign to them for some weird reason, you know. So if you look at that defense, they play a 5-man defense, which is very interesting for a big team. For the quality that they have on the bench, you would assume that at least they would sacrifice some of the defenders and maybe play 4-4-2 or a variation of that, but they play a 5 at the back, you know, 5 strict defenders, and none of them is an attacker of the fullbacks. All of them are natural fullbacks. And they train them in the center, the natural center backs, you know. So you find that, and then you have a natural defensive midfielder in Onyeka also. So you find you have 6 players who are defensively minded, you know. And if you look at it, they don't also play a higher block. They play a low block. You know, they allow you to have a ball in your area. Even on the center line, they don't attack you. They'll let you go until you approach that half. That's when they press you a bit. You know, and that's very interesting. Like I said, for a big team, for me, it's I don't know, it's disappointing to say the least. You know, and what they do is, you would assume also, I think there's one tricky thing about them. You would assume because they have tall guys, they'll force you towards the wide side so that you can put crosses in. But they block the wide channels. They force you to go inside, and inside is congested. You know, so it's a very awkward team to play against. You know, because even attacking wise, if you look at them attacking wise, there's only one person who triggers the attack, you know, it's Osimhen. You know, Osimhen is important not for his goals or whatever. It's just to trigger the attack, you know. It's like Lookman and same everything. But anyways, I'm not gonna say Tau is better than Salah. I've heard some more outrageous things, but it's fine. It looks like Lookman and Simon are 2 players who are waiting for a signal from Osimhen, you know, because what he does, and I'm worried about this, he senses danger, you know, he doesn't press you anyhow. He will look for that sloppy pass and we know Williams is notorious for that sloppy passes. She's going to utilize that uncomfortable control trap of Umvala. He's going to capitalize on that, you know. The back passes, which are not great from Musitole, because Musitole likes playing backward passes. So you look at 3 players, we have 3 weaknesses, and those are the 3 strengths of Osimhen in terms of triggering the press. And then you get worried, okay, Williams looks like has improved a bit, he can look them over. But Umvala, first touch, and Musitole backward passes is going to be a problem. You know, I feel like the goal is going to come from those type of things where it's a slight miscontrol by Umvala, and then he attacks it, he scores, or Simon scores, or a passage is short from Musitole, especially.
or a sloppy pass from Williams. One of those three situations, I'm worried about them. And then when it comes to set pieces, lastly, for me, they will all. I don't know if I think Mali should notice that always the ball is being headed by Osimhen. So don't do zonal. Just make Osimhen, because they're trying to block everyone from attacking Osimhen. So what they do is they block all the other people there, and Osimhen is isolated, and he's gonna attack the near post. So that's another thing that I'm worried about. That, and we know that. What is this guy? Williams is not the longest of keepers.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful with that.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think for me that's how Nigeria scores. You know, there's no fancy tactics. There's no what. Nah, simple. That's how they're gonna
So
score
then-
if they score. You know.
So then, do you think the feud is going to play into this? Is the feud that we have with Nigeria that everybody's going crazy about, is it something that might ignite players, might take players off of their game?
Before I go there, someone is reminding me something. Olangster. So if you look at the shots on target that Nigeria usually concedes, they concede like 1 or 2 shots on target every game, you know. So because they're forcing you out wide, I feel like Teboho Mokoena should be on shows, you know, because there are a lot of shots on goal, you know.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that they're on target. So I think Teboho will play a pivotal role there. I think that's another way of us scoring. But in terms of the feud, it's us, man. It's us, the poor guys who are feuding, eh?
Yeah.
The ones we are fighting about Sunnyside and Hillbrow. Those ones are, you're the ones on social media bantering each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nothing. It's like Chiefs and Pirates. Outside the football pitch, they are friends and you see the passion on the field, you know, but outside it's nothing, you know. So I think it's a reverse of that. That on the field, those guys they don't even play together in Europe. They don't play together in Africa.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that overlap, you know. So I think it's just outside noise that I don't even think it'll fit around to players, you know.
Or is there pressure that they're seen as the bigger team? Sometimes being the bigger team carries a bit of pressure because, you know, there's an expectation that Osimhen is better than Mbala, so much better than Mbala that he needs to do something. And maybe if it hits 60th minute and it's still 0-0 and Mbala has been closing him down, maybe they get out of character. Can we see maybe that on the Nigerian side?
Not really. I think we are the ones who tend to get out of character.
Okay.
I don't know, is it because Sundowns players, naturally, it's that nature to play the darker? Or is that, what is it? You know, I think we're the ones who are more likely to stay out of character and say, okay, fine, let's play pretty football since those guys don't want to play, you know? Because I've been looking at all the games against Cameroon, against Guinea, against everybody, Angola. Imagine Angola was the lowest of sides, but they were playing the more football than Nigeria, you know. So I think they've resigned themselves to playing ugly football, you know. And I think we are the ones who, I don't know, even from the fans, we are the ones who are insisting on good football, you know.
Yeah.
And you look at Nigeria, like, but Nigeria plays horrible football compared to us, you know. So I think the pressure would be on us to play, and I feel like that is nonsense. And you should even try that, you know. We should let them have the ball and see how they are, because throughout the tournament, they'll be relying on sitting back and attacking.
Yeah.
So what happens if you give them the ball and say, you attack us now, what's going to happen? Because they've not been practicing that. So I think that can be something that we can exploit for me. Yeah.
Okay. No, Asian, my brother, thank you so much.
As for predictions, you know, I'm not going there.
I don't want to hear it. I know you. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to let the next panel take it. Thank you so much, guys. I just need a minute. Okay, apologies for that. Apologies. Let me put in the guys who had been waiting for the next panel. It's an interesting dynamic. I think it's an interesting dynamic because when you watch us versus them, like Agent is saying, neither team plays the beautiful football that each country is crying for. And I think we're a lot more evenly matched than what people are making it out to be. My hope, and what I hope is going to happen in this game, is that we'll see two teams that realize that this is a feud. I'm sure they've been seeing it. I'm sure the players have been seeing the back and forth between Nigerians and South Africans, the Tyler thing, the whatever. And what I'm hoping for is it takes them out of their shells, but also gives us a game. Also gives us like a game with consequences, a game with urgency. That's what I'm hoping for, because both teams are pretty much sit back. With us, we may enjoy possession at times, but it's not possession that is going to go and hurt the other team. It's possession to hold it. Nigeria counterattacks a lot. So maybe to take them off of their rocker is just to say, all right, guys, today you guys have the ball. As Agent said, you guys have the ball. It's what we did versus Morocco. Morocco was looking to hit us on the counter and on the wings and go through there. But we literally went, no. Have the ball. It's okay if you have the ball. We'll watch you guys. And they ended up losing 2-0 because the transitions were a little bit too slow when they lost the ball. So let's see how that is going to play out. For now, let me bring in Tebza. Tebza, how are you, my brother?
No, I'm good, my man. Nice. I'm just anxious about the game, you know.
Bathi nukusheka ngesulu njalo.
Oh, kakazela.
Wakakazela, why you kakazeling, my brother? Relax. Go.
Why you kakazeling, my brother? Relax.
Never, OG. Yeah. No.
Tell me, what do you think of this game, Nigeria, South Africa, and how do you think we should approach this game as South Africa?
It's gonna be an interesting game to watch. As Lebole got the point, they are very valid. It's two teams that play a bit similar. You understand? And then I think we should focus more on hitting them through the midfield. That's my opinion. Because looking at their midfield, their midfield is weak. With Bo Iobi and Onyeka, I don't see them dominating that midfield. So I think we should go through the midfield, not wide. You understand? Because also their centre backs are not that quick.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
They are not that quick. So if we go through the middle, we will find more joy with that. And also with the threat Osimhen and all that. I was happy to hear that Osimhen is cleared to play, because we don't want any elements of surprise. Better the devil that you know. You understand? We know Osimhen. We've seen what he can do. I mean, they are ready for him. I believe when they are ready for him, they were looking forward to playing against him. So I'm happy that he's cleared to play, and then I believe that he won't do anything. I have confidence in us dealing with Osimhen. I don't see him as that player. You understand? I believe.
But then, no.
Yeah.
No. Go on, Tebza.
Yeah. So if Rena, we approach the game mentality, we want to control the game. I know they have pacey players, Simon Lemo Lookman. You understand?
Yeah.
But we have to in order for us to play through the middle, we have to have possession. Understand?
Yeah.
We have to have possession and kill them there. So
and that's what I wanted to ask you before you move over that point. What I wanted to ask you was, in as much as we want, you're saying we must play down the middle. How Sheba the way we're set up, whether it's from Kekana to Kekana, Lemvala to Mbukwena, Lestole, we don't necessarily have anybody that can play up the middle. That's why I was told Bashapari back pass most of the time and you have to go up the wings. Would you change someone in the team, or would you take somebody out of position to play that middle role?
You know, playing through the middle doesn't necessarily mean playing from the back.
Okay.
You understand? Yes. Doesn't necessarily mean playing through the back, from the back. We can go route one, but then when we knock it down, just make sure that we keep it. We play those quick passes in the middle. Bring like that thing we were talking about pace it down. Let him come in, join in Zwan and Makopa there. You understand? To cause problems there in the middle. Out wide, let's let our fullbacks pump up. We will let them give us that width, but then our wingers let them come closer to the goals. You understand? Our fullbacks, let's depend on them to give us that width. You understand?
Yeah.
Then, must stick. If we're going to allow our fullbacks to pump up, then we need that tactical discipline from Sithole to stick there so that he can help our center backs if we are being caught on the counter to add as the back three. That's how we should approach this game.
Okay. Let me go to Serge. Serge, how are you?
I'm good, thanks on you, my brother. How are you?
I'm a semi-finalist. I've been happy. I've been smiling since Saturday. Tell me, Serge, Nigeria versus South Africa. How are you seeing this game panning out, and how should the teams approach this game?
Yeah, for me, this matchup is a very personal matchup because we have history with Nigeria. And if you remember last time we played in AFCON, they were the ones responsible for us being knocked out after beating Egypt. So that factor those type of things will influence the game in a way.
Yeah.
And I really feel like, you see, Nigeria will really have the crown behind them, you see.
Yeah.
So I think Bafana needs to be very focused. Keep to what they know. Because as much as I've been listening to you guys saying that we should let Nigeria have the ball more and wait and see what they can do with the ball. But for me, we know that we've got players that are very good on the ball. So why not hold the ball more? Frustrate them. With possession, push the tempo. Being in these guys' faces more. Let them lose focus. Let them be frustrated. You see, when a team is frustrated, mistakes can happen. You know, they could start making silly fouls. Those type of things. Silence the crowd once. At least we shouldn't concede the first goal. That's what I feel like we should work towards. And if we score first, I think now the game will swing in our favor because we can control the game more. And they will be pressured to come out of the shell because we know that a defensive team. They don't have a good record of scoring many goals in this tournament. So I think if we score the first goal, I think they'll panic.
Can we score the first goal? Where's that first goal going to come from?
For me, to be honest, I think one thing that will help us is the fact that we've got Sundowns players there. As much as I'm a rival fans would want to ignore that, but that Sundowns core is there. So I think the players have a very good understanding of them, you see. So I think we really need to come out and do something out of the ordinary. Because for me, what I fear, I think we've become too predictable. We've played the same starting lineup for the past. I think the last time we played a different starting lineup was against Mali, and we've played the same team throughout the tournament. So my fear is that teams have started to scout us. We saw in the Cape Verde match, we really underperformed, to be honest. And they really had us against the ropes. They were really coming. So I think from Hugo, he needs to surprise them.
Okay.
And now going forward, this kid Maseko is injured now. So if Bensley to we don't have firepower from the bench. I think what it will all come down to is which team wants it more. More than the actual game. I think we just need to really compete and go head to head with these people and really go for it, because Kenya, it's been a while since we've been to semi-finals. All we can do is just give it our all and just really compete.
Okay. Well, now what I have pound for pound. I see you, Serge. I see you. Let me bring in Madala. Madala, how are you?
Bro, Oti.
Tinsa.
Mpintshaka eish. Ay. Diyabuya. Mara what's la?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of Nigeria, hey?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of Nigeria. One thing that we have to do is to play to our strength. What is our
Okay.
strength? Let's first start there. What is
Yeah.
our strength?
Mm.
Our strength is to keep the ball and pass the ball. That's our
Okay.
strength. Right. If we give them the ball and let them attack us, you know what is going to happen, Mr. Oti?
Mm.
We will create yellow cards. That is
Okay.
one thing that you must expect
Yeah.
when you give someone the ball to attack you. You create yellow cards, you create fouls, you create penalties.
Mm.
But now, if you keep the ball and distribute the ball in a way that you maintain your position, it means you have the control of the game.
Okay.
The other thing, if you pump up the ball, that means you are eliminating uzwane strength sakhe, because amabhozi wonke asesiya kumakopa.
Yeah.
Uzwane he has nothing to do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is his function? He is nowhere to be found. At the end of the day, we will say Uzwane was nowhere to be found. But were we playing to Uzwane's strength? No. We are pumping the ball forward, giving the ball to the opponent. But now, if we can keep the ball, play to our strength, and make everyone on the field work and maintain the position, we've got upper hand of Nigeria, guys. Let's not be afraid of Nigeria. I mean, I'm not afraid of Nigeria, not even a bit. I know they've got a physical strength. That physical strength, it's nothing compared to the skill that we have.
Yeah.
The players that we have, they are playing overseas. Do away with those people who are playing overseas. They are nothing. Let's play to our strength.
Yeah.
Keep the ball, pass the ball. Make sure that Uzwane no Tao no Mrena, they combine. If we can manage that, Mr. Oti, we've got in Nigeria on our palm of our hands. Nigeria mina angayisaba.
Can I just play devil's advocate there a little bit?
Come on, Baba.
The one time we did play to our strengths was the Mali game, which we lost 2-0, where we looked great, but because we didn't have a potent attack or somebody who can finish, all of the play, the nice play, wasn't dangerous. Us playing this ugly, quote-unquote, ugly game or different game has gotten us this far. Should we change it now?
Right. You know, there is an advantage, there's a disadvantage on that point that you are coming with, right? The first game that we played on our strength,
yeah,
we had each challenge ikabhudu uXulu. uXulu i-combination le esiyidingayo ubengenayo. Ake sibe honest, i-combination le esiyidingayo ubengenayo. He is not quick in his feet ukuthi release ibhola, and i-strength sakhe lapha at the back bebengasizani lo mvala ngendlela, right? Let's go back to igame ye-Tunisia. Do you remember how Umdao got injured? I-back line yethu be suffocated. Those guys were coming they were coming to us like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Once i-back line yaba suffocated ngama attack, ama-defenders, they will get ama-yellow card and injuries because they will try by all means ukuthi bavala amanzi angangena endlini. But at the end of the day, something ugly will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dangerous ukuthi sigcine sibanikeze ibhola sithi wozani kithi. That's very dangerous. We are winning with that formula, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous, very dangerous. Let's continue with our strength. I know if my midfielders were, they can keep the ball and support a front three. guys, we will beat Nigeria like nobody's business. We have done it. We have
So
done it.
then,
We can.
just one last thing, just to ask you the question.
Okay.
Do we have the midfield that can hold the ball? Because Stoll and Mokoena aren't necessarily ball playing. We see it when we do try and play the ball through the midfield. Ustol is more comfortable going back and passing back. Mvala Nokekana, they're comfortable on the ball, but they're not so comfortable that you trust them all the time. In fact, we've stopped trusting them in these past few games. And there's a gap between our defense. Is that going to be a factor, or are you moving people around?
Right. You know what, Mr. Oti? We've got Uteboho no Stole.
Yeah.
Uteboho can move forward. Ustole, he does the dirty work behind Uteboho.
Yeah.
And we've got an advantage, Mr. Oti. Umvala used to play as a midfielder, a destroying midfielder. Understand? Umvala, he can pass a dangerous, a defense splitting pass to our strikers.
Yeah.
We have to utilize that. Ukekana, he is capable of overlapping. He can play as a right back, Ukekana. Of that matter. He can play as a right back. He can overlap. If ubonakala tokwe labantu ngathi sebehlehlele kakhulu, Ukekana, he can pass the ball, he can overlap. But asingabanikezi ibhola. That's my cry. Let's not give them the ball. They've got good attackers. Those good attackers, they can hate us. Sizolimala. If we give them the ball, sizolimala.
Let me bring in Stereophonic. Stereophonic, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you, my man?
It's been a while, my brother. It's been a while.
I know. It's been a busy 2-3 months, but here we are talking AFCON as semi-finalists.
No. What do you think of this game, Nigeria, South Africa? How should what do you think of the game, and how should we approach it?
Okay, it's very simple. The game will be won in two areas: the wing backs and the midfield. Basically, who can dominate the midfield and who can expose the overlapping defenders. So who can expose Ola Aina and if I'm not mistaken, Basi, and who can expose Umudao and Mudiba.
Okay.
But now, if you've noticed, the people that get the teams that get the most out of South Africa are the ones that are able to expose those wing backs because they're overlapping from one maybe straight pass from the midfield. And I think everyone has seen that you might get a straight pass from either the goalkeeper, either the center backs, or even from Spepelos Tole.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, but then to me, I believe this game tomorrow is going to be very cagey. It's going to be very cagey because we're not the most clinical of teams.
Yeah.
We've been solid defensive wise, but we're not as both teams are not as clinical up front. So it'll be very cagey. It might go to extra time. That's my prediction.
So then I'm hearing the guys say that maybe we should go back and play our football and pass the ball and hold the ball. Are we capable of doing that with this team setup?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that yes, we have the players with the chemistry that could do such attacks, but no, when you have Evidence Makgopa up front. Unfortunately, you don't have a striker to do that. And I'm not sure with Spepelos Tole you could start out from the back. Yes, you can, but I haven't been confident with the passing in the midfield.
Yeah.
I've seen in the comments are saying that. Oh, sorry, you can continue.
No. Go on. Actually, go on. You can make a point.
No, I was making a point that I understand the guys in the comments saying we're negative, but I think it's more of and I think there's two sets of fans where we play to our identity that has gotten us this far and gotten us success back then, versus if this tactic works, then why don't we just do it because we're winning? We're still winning. But then you could have that and somebody finds us out, and then you find that we don't even have a plan B. You know, so that we as South Africans, I think we were stuck in between those two.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, look, all I will say before I let the looks in, all I will say is my thing is you could possibly play the ball, but the problem is that we've got we've got a back six. Yeah, we've got a back six and a front four. Basically, that's how we play, and the connection between the two is where it's tough because Mbala doesn't play the progressing role as a centre back at Sundowns. It's Kutsia. Neither Mbalo or Kekana play that role. In the middle, Pepelo and Utebuho are very hard workers. That's what they've been brought in to do. Very hard workers. They screen the defense. They help out on the wings. Even Sundowns, Mokoena, his job is never to progress the ball. That's Alenda, that's Mudiba, that's Kutsia, right? So my struggle with our team is that yes, we will want to go play that football, but the problem is that if you can press us in the right way, you'll win the ball because Pepelo's not going to turn around and play a positive pass, a forward pass. Mokoena is going to be too busy helping outside. So you'll find us playing it back too many times, and that may create the opportunity for an Osimhen to be able to press and get the ball and win the ball in those situations. And I think we add a little bit too much pressure to ourselves. But the problem with playing long is that then you eliminate Zwane, and to a degree you eliminate Percy. Because Percy, positional discipline-wise, hey, I'm not too hot with him that side because he finds himself on the right-hand side too many times. And it puts Morena out of position. And also Mahupa gets a bit lost because now Morena striking, Mahupa has to now find his way. But hey, we've been winning, so I don't want to be negative to that point, and I don't want to say that our football will win.
Most of us will say, if it ain't broke, why fix it? But then if you look at a pure footballing standpoint, you're saying we're on the right direction, but we're not there. I don't think Bruce as a coach tactically is what we're looking for, but he's a tournament coach in my point of view because he realizes that we can't necessarily play to this point. We'll play this way and it will take us and get his bonuses and sail off into the sunset, wherever he goes after that. Because I don't think he'll qualify us for 2026.
Yeah.
Not after that Rwanda game. I was just like, nah. But then with this tournament, I was surprised. And I was even one of the guys that says, okay, round of 16 gone. But with what we're seeing now, at least we're staying. So we're in top 4. So we'll finish either first, second, third, or fourth. And that for us is, I think we punched above our weight.
Okay. We're finishing first though. Let me go to Flux.
And lastly, before I can
very quickly.
No, that's cool. It's all good.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, and lastly, if you've seen the tournament, the teams that have shown up are where they are right now. Maybe Ivory Coast, like has been on their side, but the teams that have shown up are where they are right now.
Okay. Let me go to Flux. Flux, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, how's it with you?
Hi, Nakim Natiman. I'm a semi-finalist. Tell me, what do you think of this game, Nigeria, South Africa, and how should we approach this game?
Okay, no, I'd like to agree with the guys that have spoken about total domination. That's what I'm advocating for. So yeah, here's my thing. We should go there for a complete domination.
Okay.
Dominate those guys position wise. Let's forget about like our Route 1 volleyball type of a football, because those guys, Nigeria currently they are masters of that volleyball game.
Okay.
And then secondly, the Western countries, like, they allow us to move within spaces, ne? Since they rely mostly on their physicality. So, and we have very good short passes most of the time, because our players, they're very good on small spaces. So we can utilize that on our advantage, rather than doing the route one and relying on Mahopa as our target man, because there's a lot of tall defenders from in Nigerian. And then, yeah, as I've said, I have the same view with Usaid and I forgot who's the other guy that spoke on the approach of the game. And then we should go there to dominate the game position-wise, as I've said, and be intentional about it. We are not going to play like pass the ball around in circles and that. We should have phases where we want the goal, because the most important thing is we dominate, we get the first goal, and we annihilate them after that, because they will come out to go and search for an equalizer, and that's when we unpack that defense of theirs, because that defense is very stubborn. The only way to deal is same as our previous games. The Cape Verde defense was similar to ours as well. Our defense is very stubborn, but the type of defense is that one that you need to score it first, so that it can naturally or spontaneously unpack itself. Then you destroy them, and then we get the first goal, and then so that they can come out of their comfort zone, because they are very comfortable playing that the way they do. And then Nigeria is not playing football like they are, as I've said, they are relying on the volleyball. It's route one from defense to their strikers, their reference guy. Who's that? Osimhen. So midfield, there's nothing in midfield. So we can't be scared of any of their midfield. I don't even worry myself about any of their midfielders, irrespective of how talented those guys are, because they are being deprived of showing their own skills. So there's nothing to be afraid of. And we have the base of Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, I know the guys, they might not be like the best of what Sundowns can offer in terms of playing position-wise. But that base, it's there. We saw it during the Mali game. It's just that during the Mali game, we were not intentional about what we needed to do. Could you have scored Mali first? I think that game should have panned out differently. So this game, let's not continue with this unsustainable football that we are playing. Yes, it brought us where we are currently, but we need to be direct about our style of play right now, because those guys, they've been checking how we're winning, and we've been watching Nigeria also. Nigeria is playing, they are very good in terms of the football that we are playing. So we need to do something about it, and they've got the hype for that.
I hear everybody saying possession. Isn't it our problem in general in South Africa that we love possession, but we're not intentional? And now you're going to have possession and you're playing against a very stubborn defense. They've conceded one goal all tournament long. Can we trust that our players, if we were to switch and go into that possession-based football, can we trust that they will be intentional, or are we just hoping they will be, but the truth is that we'll revert back to a South African type game?
No, we have to be intentional, because either way, even if we were to play like the kind of football we are playing, Nigeria will come for a goal. So whatever that we do, those guys, they will play that game. Like, if let's say we bring the two games together and we play that route one, they also play it. At the end of the team that is very good with route one will win. And they've got advantage for that route one game they're playing. So on our side, what we should do, let's deprive them of the ball first. Let them look for that ball and let them make those fouls for that ball. And then whenever we get an opportunity, we need to punish those guys, and we need to punish them first for us to win that game.
Okay.
Should they score first, then we are in trouble. Yeah. If
Okay.
those guys can score first, they'll park the bus, and they don't mind parking that bus. We've seen it before. So the approach for a team that parks the bus, score them first, and then get hold. Even after scoring, continue holding the ball and let them look for that ball. Be desperate. If they're deprived, then they'll be desperate to have the ball. They will come at us, and then they'll naturally unpack their own defense, and it will play to our advantage. We have seen Sundowns. It always does it, because the football we are playing it's similar to what SuperSport does here locally. If you look at it, the only team that plays this type of football is SuperSport. And look at SuperSport whenever it plays against Sundowns, what happens? Let's take the ball, put it on the ground, even on a striker. We can even sacrifice our strikers and go for a middle field.
Okay.
then the striker will see it later.
Let me bring in Malume Kuzo. Malume Kuzo, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Overthinkers, le joang overthinkers.
Remonade. We are overthinking, man.
Overthinking football, Mona. Hey, man. What's
Tell
wrong?
me.
What's wrong?
Man, tell me, Malume Kuzo, Nigeria versus South Africa. What are your thoughts about the game, and how should we approach this game? Because it seems to be a bone of contention there.
I listened to, well, not that I listened, but I'm going to refer you to Samuel Eto'o. He says South Africa has so many resources, such a good league. He's baffled as to why we don't do well nationally. I would like to invite him to come and listen to people. Then he will understand why we're not doing well. For 24 years, we've never seen a semi-final. We've been passing the ball around and passing the ball around and passing it around. And you still want to pass it. When we play direct football and it has bad fruits. We've been to AFCON twice and we played direct football twice and it bad fruits. Went to quarter final, right now we go semi-final, and you still want to argue for a tiki-taka. The coach who's renowned for tiki-taka could not win the Champions League using the jet form of tiki-taka to a point where he decided, I'm a center back, I for a move. Because he understood with defense is very important if you're going to win the cup. This thing of attack, here we were going to deprive them of ball position. Hey, have you seen our squad? How many players are really ball players in that way? Like, we're trying to self-sabotage. Do you want to sabotage ourselves? We've made it to the quarter final playing direct football. And we've qualified for a tournament playing direct football. Why am I saying more? There's a coach by the name of Gavin Hunt who won 3 leagues back to back. Abantu balpass and a local shy. And then there's a coach who's renowned like us for itikitaka. And finally in the camp, we saw a picture of him saying, "Hi Baba, chipan lelo bola, kabani bola," because he could see with ayiko lento. Lego sol pasa. That's for winning tournament. Coach Rano was seen on national TV saying, "Hey Baba, kabani bola, ayiko lento." So this thing of you won our hearts. Ayiko. People are like, hey, Cape Verde was playing the best football. Ayiko lento. They are out of the tournament. The teams who are playing the worst football remain in the tournament. Nizamukwenzani kahle kahle? Nizamukuni tournament or nizamukuni best football? We lost playing this pass. We lost. There's tangible evidence. There is not speculation. There's tangible evidence. Silnokile against Mali. Okay, so babonisa lapha. Bazamukulu nokha ngama-player who are not comfortable on the ball. The players are not comfortable. You see, we can blame Siyanda Kulu. He's not the one who lost the balls. He was attacked. They're not comfortable on the ball. Against Ghana King Pyramids, I said, if you want to press a team that's playing ball mover. Press those defenders. Defenders, most of them, they're not comfortable on the ball. We don't have a Rivaldo there or Lisanda. We've got natural defenders who go in to defend. Ufuna ukuklama abanye abantwana baphasa ibhola bayenzini ngalo. Abakhapha ibhola man, sifuna ukuwina Mr. Uti. Mina I want to be a champion. I want to be a champion. I don't want to be beautiful. I want to be a champion. I want to walk proud. When I go and cut my hair there by the West Africans, I'm smile and yeah, sintablil. Not this thing of saying still no kid. Osman, I watched Osman Lonitse Agasebenz. Osman Begaba pressa, Mr. OT, against Angola. Waba pressa will touch on Togoloza in Nigeria. You often you want Vala to play the ball at the back. This is self-sabotage. Sabotage our field. Let the ball be kicked forward. Our strong players. Let them be the ones who try and pass the ball. And Aila, le Pambi. They move a servala. Nifuna ukudlisa bafethu. Mina angicabanga ukuthi enza ngicabanga isisanga. Uke wona apusola pizza ashaya itikitaka la. Because nomkwena nje he hooks the ball forward very nicely. Okula go super sport where he knows how to play this thing. So akuna alende la. Akuna kanakima akuna siphombule la, akuna serino la. La spechama hash. We've got work. There's this thing of saying our strength is passing the ball. That's imaginary. Ukuyabona phumrena pass ibhola. Ukuyabona phutawu na busy la, busy passa ka 1000 la. Those are very direct players. Ukuyabona mahupa athi come tiki-taka. Have you watched the squad that we have, Bafethu? That's why it's you against Mali. Come on. Let's continue on the football there as far as the quarter final. Sebabulala Nigeria, Sibuleli Morocco, Sibulele Kanaking in Namibia. They thought Zol pass. We were like, Zokichima man. That's what I prefer.
Okay. Let me bring in Urutan. Rutani, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, Oti. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No stress, my brother. Tell me, Nigeria versus South Africa, what are your thoughts? And then, how should we approach this game?
Okay. I've been hearing people talking, analyzing football, talking about the past and not focusing to the future that we have right now. I'd love to say I will disagree with a lot of people who were saying, more especially who were criticizing Sithole. If you look well, Sithole is the kind of player who plays like Sugar Mabunda. You couldn't see his impact during the game because you're not looking for for the coach what he's looking for. The coach knows what he's looking for from a player. And looking at him, I really see him becoming a better player after the third match that we played with Morocco. Actually, he was doing great. He knows how to stabilize, and he covers each and every position in the middle field when they move. He gave Themba Zwane the individual performance that he got when he scored the brace. It was the work of hardworking Pepelo Sithole, and he's very good. Let me take it back here on tomorrow's game. I feel like it need individual performance and also discipline. Because if we look to the team that we have as Bafana, we don't have the best team in that AFCON tournament right now. The combination are not there. You could only see Morena sometimes playing with Mudau and also Themba Zwane. They're used to play that. They'll see them playing the diamond shape on the right flank. It's something normal that we used to in the PSL. But looking at this game, last game it was the Mvala individual performance and also tactical discipline. It was Mukwena. It was also Ronwen Williams who saved the penalties. So it requires individual performance. That's where we need to see Pesitao uplifting himself, showing us that he is the best striker in South Africa at the moment. He's the best middle fielder in South Africa at the moment right now. That's why he's playing in Egypt. That's why he's being rated as Pesitao. We need to see the guys like Themba Zwane uplifting themselves, being disciplined, knowing how to tackle, knowing when to push. And if we need to win this game, let's allow Nigeria to attack us and play transition football that we are used to. Yeah, I think by that way, if we play transition football, because we will rely on the pace of Morena, we'll also we'll also depend on the pace of Pesitao tomorrow, and also the clinical finish of the striker who will be starting, which is Mahupa, if not mistaken. If not, if they not play Lepasa, then I don't think that they can make it tomorrow. Like if they want to play the total football that us South Africans need to see. But if we need to play that, we need to see someone whose individual performance is high at the moment, and they're not afraid to take decisions, because we see them. They don't want to shoot. They still want to play the tiki-taka. They still want to pass on the box. And you can't do that. If you are South Africa, you can't do that, because there are no links. From the middle field to the strikers, there are no links. There's no one who's being that player that links the middle field and the strikers. So we only need that performance tomorrow. If Pepelo Stolem plays the way he played against Morocco tomorrow, and he stands still in the center so that he can win all the balls that are coming back as the rebounds, we are going to beat Nigeria with 2 to 3 goals. And people won't believe it.
Okay. No, I'm gonna come back because I just want to say something.
Yes.
I think we are having a conversation on 2 types of football when there's actually 3 types of football that Bafana has played in this tournament. One has been pure possession, and the problem with our pure possession game is we tend to hold possession in places where we can't hurt the other team. So if we play our quote-unquote South African game that we played versus Mali, for example, it was great first half. First half was incredible. We sat back, we were combining, we were doing whatever. But if I was to ask you where we were combining, and if I was to ask you how dangerous we were in those areas, you'll see that there wasn't much threat, which allowed Mali in the second half to switch. When they realized, oh, this is what they're doing, they switched and they hit us with a different type of football in the second half, and we couldn't play against them. That's where they took the game away from us. Then there's the Route 1 football that everybody's speaking about now, which I think was effective in a game versus Morocco. Because if you see what happened versus Morocco and where the free kick for Tebogo Mokwena's goal comes from, essentially what we were doing was we were sacrificing going forward to say, let's sit back and be compact enough that we know Ziyech and those guys are not on the pitch, so we can pretty much deal with one striker. Mvala and Kekana can deal with one striker, and there'll come a time where they'll get overzealous. They'll push their right back and right wing up. They'll push their left back and left wing up. And what that then opens up is it allows Mokoena to all of a sudden run through, and Amrabat has to foul him. So that's another way. Then there was the game we played versus Namibia. The game we played versus Namibia, we minimized the touches. We minimized the combinations, but we transitioned with purpose. I think that the problem with South African players and the players that we have, and the reason why we struggle up front, for me, is because if you give them the chance to play the ball, they will overplay the ball. There will not be somebody who's able to go, guys, I'm taking the ball now. I need to do something. I'm taking the ball now, I'm shooting. If you watch what happened with Cape Verde, where the way Cape Verde played us, was Cape Verde may not have had the possession, they may not have been incredible, even no, the stats did say possession. They didn't look threatening, but the few times they went forward, every time they went forward, it was either a corner, a save, it hits a defender, we're uncomfortable, Ronwen has to make a save. They made sure that they were intentional with how they played. And I would love Hugo Bruce to put us in a position where the players don't get a chance to think. What was nice about Namibia was you in the box, in transition, the defenders are facing their goal. You're in behind. There's no time for you to turn around and look for Tau. Look at what happened for the goal that Zwane scored. Everybody was running forward, and because everybody was running forward, there was that pass back, and he was able to score. But if we slow down and we hold the ball for the sake of holding the ball, two things happen. One, our players will overplay. Two, the other team gets back. We don't have players that can break a defense when they get into the final third with a low block. We don't have that. We don't have players that will all of a sudden hit you these 1-2s and whatever inside the box or where we're going to be dangerous. Let's be honest. We don't have that. We have possession players. We all know Zwane, guys. We watched what happened with Zwane when Uribero and Shalulile were injured. What happened? He was getting into positions. Either he wasn't running into the position like a midfielder or like a striker would or an attacking player would, or he can't finish. And I feel like we've got a lot of those type of players. And to the Percy Tau point, guys, Percy Tau plays at Al Ali some of the most direct football you'll ever see. Those guys don't care about game. They don't care about combining and playing
They don't
football.
play fancy football.
They don't
Yes.
play fancy football up north. They don't care about fancy football. And that's the football that Percy Tau plays. So we also have to be careful about the things. I don't believe this team is bad. And I don't believe you necessarily have to just sit back and be lame ducks. I just believe that we have to play with an intensity and an urgency that Bafana historically, South African football historically, has not been able to play with. This Mahopa that we're seeing in Bafana is the same Mahopa we see. When they play at Pirates. Bunch of creative players around him. They pass the ball to death. Mahopa doesn't get the ball, doesn't score. He's asked to do a whole bunch of other things. So when we're asking him to do that in the national team, I think that is an issue. Let me go to Tebza. Tebza, just to round off the show, what's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
It's gonna be a tight one. It's gonna be a tight one. If it's going to be a game of 90 minutes, it's gonna be a game that will end up 1-0 arena.
Okay.
To touch up more tabing and Nobla Kana no le Laudi Kujo and other people. I think it means now having heard all the people talk about all different types of football. Opinion it means now it depends on how Nigeria approaches the game. Understand? It depends on that because of now. If we're going to sit back, Nigeria, we know it sits back. You understand? If Renara attack and then they have a lot of pace. So now it means we are going to the game being cautious, okay, how are they approaching the game? And then Rena, we will decide from there. Half time, no, okay, now our coach must do 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? Because now everyone is right. No one is wrong in here. No one is wrong. We are right. Just that on Kausan, okay, now Nigeria is playing this way. Guys, what do you think our coach should do because of now situation in Kamko? So now my prediction, Kausani, it's 1-0 Buffet to Turena. Roberta Gule one shut out the back door Buffet to ready final. Sure.
Okay. I'm just looking at the comments. Luisani says our opponents are weak at the back, especially goalkeeping department. Why Sitka low block? They've only conceded 1 goal, so they're actually the best defense in the tournament. So I don't know if it's going to be as simple as that. I just wanted to come in on that one. Serge, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Score prediction, I see 1 goal being scored for Bafana.
And let me ask you, is the goal going to come early or is it going to come late?
I feel like we're going to score early. We're going to score early in that match. And
who are you giving it to?
The goal.
Yeah.
I see someone like quiet, maybe a Morena or Peso, somebody from out wide, man.
Yeah.
But because we really need big performances from certain players like Abo Tau, Abo Zwane, like our senior players need to step up. They really need to do. And like you said, we really need to play with that type of intensity that really pressures the opponent and really push the tempo in possession, really conduct ourselves accordingly when you don't have the ball, get behind the ball when you lose possession, you see that type of thing, and really, really go for it and want it more, because it will really come down to that, because both teams are not playing brilliant football, to be honest. So it'll just be a matter of which team wants it more.
Okay. Looks, score prediction?
No, what I see is that if we score first and very quick, I think it will have more than 3 goals tomorrow.
Hey,
I'm telling you, we score first, we're going to win comfortably tomorrow. That's what I'm seeing. But the only problem is that if those guys can score first, they'll park the bus. It will be 1-0. If Nigeria wins, it will be 1-0 to Nigeria. If we win, it's gonna be more than 2 goals to 3 goals. That's what I'm foreseeing. And then
Mara Looks, me, I don't like these ifs, man. Put your head on the block, man.
No, I need to put an if, because no, look, if we go for like the same type of football those guys are coming up with, chances are it's a 50-50 chance. Any team can score first. And then we need to avoid being scored against first, because those guys, they are very strong at their back. Once they score, they will lock. They will lock the shot. That's a problem. So our main aim should be to score first. And just to go back a little bit, I heard you like making a point about the game of Mali. What I saw, I don't know if you guys have a chance, just go back to that game and check. We came there in a game of Mali with the position football mentality. We tried that, and the surprise that Mali brought to us was that they too could play that position football. Because there was an instant where against Mali. And then they showed us that we can play the football that we want to play. Then what? And we didn't have any option 2. So at least now we can camouflage our type of play. Yes, we won with that route 1, but let's camouflage it with something. We can appear as if we play tiki-taka, then Mukwena has those long passes. They can work on our favor also. Yes.
Okay.
It's not strictly totalitarian football. Why? Yeah, we don't have the capacity to play the total tiki-taka in Barcelona. But we have players that can play Abomkwen and play long passes, but it shouldn't be the longest passes in this game. Yeah, that's what I'm advocating for.
Well, that's why I'm saying, just before I let Malume Kutso in, that's why I'm saying that I think we're all saying the same thing, but the issue is that we're not explaining further. I want longer balls for transition. I don't want long balls just for long ball's sake. The reason why I want a longer ball is because, like I said, we play sort of a back 6 front 4. Our front 4 is technically gifted crazy. Our front 4 can play tiki-taka like mad if they need to. The problem we've been having as Bafana is, how does the ball get from the goalkeeper to Zwane? We struggle. If you watch Bafana, we'll play. Stole will come back and play it back to the defenders. The defenders will play it amongst themselves. Then when it's lit, they hit the long ball. But if you could transition with the long ball, so transition and then allow that 4, Morena, Zwane, Tau, Mahopa. If you can allow that transition to happen quickly with a defense that's facing its own goals, I think that's the most important thing. We don't have the height to fight for long balls, high balls in J. But if we can get them running back, spaces will open up.
But what I'm seeing is that there's nothing that can kill us by telling Williams not to play direct pass from a goalkeeper to the middle field. Look for other options. If there are no options, then put it in the middle. That's the safest way. Yeah, because we don't have that player that can be able to collect the ball and carry it to the middle field. So we won't die by doing that. Let's not put ourselves at the risk of putting someone to go like someone like Mkwena or Sitole to go and collect the ball from the goalkeeper because they don't have that in themselves. Let's cancel that altogether.
Okay. Looks, time. Looks, I need to close. I've gone over.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Malumekuto, score prediction.
Angikhumba ngiziphamu nemikhonto noma ngangi-attacker okusalayo ama-defender wethu are not necessarily comfortable on the ball. Avoid having defenders play the ball. Idlisile lento against Mali balihlokolozile kumtawu umvala had to make a foul. Uthembazwane had to come deep athi uzobuilda amatikitaka balihlokoloza ba-overtake uxulu. Avoid lento yokuphasa unnecessary at the back. Yadlisa. There's proof on the table. Yadlisa. So the best thing we can do, siyalikhaba. It's not a matter of khaba siphumule. It's khaba lifike ku my best players wethu who can actually play. Let's have Utau get a one-on-one situation. Let's have Umurena have an opportunity to run at the defenders. Let's have Umukwena have an opportunity to carry the ball into Elon from a 16 into the final third, which is his actual strength, not his imaginary strength that he can pass the ball. You understand? If now I'm coming with an if we play a football guy Hugo Bros that understands the individual players one by one, not the imaginary that we are in love with. If we play that football, see how we Mr. Uti, and we will definitely score first. Because see, I hear people in Nigeria, hey, there's a guy who has been hard running in Esiswin. There's a guy that has been pressing defenders to come right. Victor Osimhen. And every time Osimhen wins the ball or Al-Shogoloz, look man, they are there, they are pouncing, they are ready. So you don't want to have that, Mr. Oti. The best thing you can do is, a coaching in Kabang, what needs to happen is for Opesita or Morena, how do you turn from a player that was defensive to a player that's now in an attacking position immediately when we win the ball? That's where I see what's in a corner for us as a team to say our best players, our wingers, our threat, abakwazi ukushintsha umqondo meswini ibhola bavulele ibhola quickly. Instead, we end up having to circulate the ball, having to kick the ball, and Omahopa, when he challenges, remember, when we're kicking the ball, it's not only about, Mahopa must win it. No, Mahopa must just compete so that Meliwa, we win the second ball. And then we can play for the second ball, you understand? And look, I just want to say, Pyramids came here. TS Galaxy, so there's this other team that Cape Town Spurs came and they showed that the defenders of Sundowns are uncomfortable on the ball. They pressed them to come right. Even the final, the opponent had planned for his Sundowns, they knocked the ball, which is why Rwanda ended up saying, hey, kabani ball as in Pambili, guys, watch the games, not the clips where the ball is being circulated. Against Namibia, we had Utembazwane, Nabostole, Nabunkwena play the ball further higher up the pitch. That's where Lapo, it's fine, Mr. Oti. Lapo, you're actually trying to break it defense. You're not passing it because you want to trend, which when I was sharply 120 passes. When have you seen each many pass it on pass 150 times? But they definitely score more goals than anyone. Pass the ball in the right places with the right intentions. Mr. Oti shall win a game of 3-1.
Thank you. Malume Kusorotani, close it up for me. What's your prediction?
OT, you know what? If you go bros tomorrow, let me come with the last if on the show.
Mara, you guys and these ifs, man. Say it with your chest, man.
Okay, but OT, let you go bros play someone sneaky at the striking force. Someone who can play behind the defenders and who's very, very, very capable of holding the ball and playing the second ball to the upcoming strikers who would be Themba Zwane and Thapelo Mrene and also Pesitao. We don't need someone like Mahopa who can even hold. We don't need physical strength. They are good at aerial balls tomorrow. The Nigerian are very good, especially the defense. When it comes to set pieces and aerial balls, they are good at defending them. So we won't make it with playing the long balls. Javelin football won't make us win tomorrow. Let's just go and expect individual performance. I think if Hugo Bros bench Mahopa and play Lipasa tomorrow, we might moor them 2-1.
Hey,
Yes.
if might die, Mara, you guys, but it's fine. But it's fine. It's fine. Thank you. Thank you to the panel. I just want to say the last thing, guys. But for me, my last thing, and I want to take it back to the thing of tactics. I think sometimes we make it very simple and we boil it down too simply. I think when you look at Sundowns, when Sundowns plays possession football, Sundowns cheats at possession football because they've got Williams who can play. Then they have Kutsie in front of him. Then they play a back five where Kutsie is in the middle of Grand Kekana or Vala and AB. And then what they do is Modiba becomes a midfielder. So essentially, they've already got two people who are building the ball. And then they bring Allen who drops in as well. And that becomes who gives Themba Zwane the ball. I think the current Bafana Bafana squad, I think if we play possession, we'll play possession in areas. We'll play possession at the back. So we'll play the Kekana Mvala, Modiba, Mudau, maybe Stole. We'll play possession there. In our last third, that's where we'll play. The ball is not going to be able to go up. Please, just watch the games where we've done that. Stole gets so scared that he needs to turn around. So then we have that back six who play and we don't go forward. Then they get to a point where they go, oh, no, Barsi Pressa. Then they need to kick the ball forward. Then we have the front guys. The front guys who look incredible when the ball gets to them. So when the ball has arrived by Themba Zwane and Pesitao and Morena, it looks incredible. When we figured out how to get to the front, those few times we get there, they play well. The problem is there's no link between these ones and those ones, and playing the ball here becomes a risk because if we high pressed, we lose the ball. Play the ball up there too much becomes a risk because our front players just hold the ball too much and they've got no threat in them. They've got no threat. Guys, the Cape Verde game, Cape Verde, every time they got the ball and said we were attacking, it was tibang at the back. It was tibang. Balls were hitting knees. Balls were hitting shoulders. Balls were being headed out because it's lit for corners. They played with an urgency and intensity and a directness that we lack as South Africa, unless we can play a high transitioning game where the guys up front don't have time to think. And I'm not a person who's saying, move the ball forward and hope something happens. I'm saying, put the ball into areas. So when we play the ball up, we've just won the ball back, put it in an area. Okay, Pesitao, you're on the left. We're going to play the ball towards the left-hand corner flag or just before it. That's where you must receive the ball and you'll be one-on-one because we're in transition. Themba Zwane can come help you. Mahopa can stay in the box. Morena can tuck in. We're in attack now. What happened with the goal? What happened with the goal that we scored, that Themba Zwane scored versus Namibia? What happened? Quick transition. Everybody was running back. Themba Zwane could run to just above the penalty spot and side foot the ball into the net. Right? Why? Because there was chaos. My problem is our possession for possession's sake often becomes Bafana versus 6 defenders who are sitting. And it's very easy to play our players when we're sitting. You get what I mean? Mahopa is not going to be technical, so that's -1. I just have to stand by him. Or he'll run into the left wing channel. Pesitao is going to go that side and be stuck by himself. we can just sit our two guys there, right, King, left and right back, and just left and right wing, and then just watch. Nothing's going to come from that because we're not intentional. I'd love the possession play if we allowed Mukwena to shoot a lot more, if we allowed all the other players to shoot a lot more, but they don't. That's just the truth of the matter. So I need us to be a little bit more direct. Anyway, guys, anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow is going to be a long one. We're going to do 6 hours. We're going to cover both matches. So I'm going to start at 6:30, pre-match type thing when we know the starting lineups. Then we can go from there. If you have not followed, please take the opportunity to follow now. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes back that we've done, we've had incredible conversations outside of just reviews of matches and previews of matches. You can head on over to YouTube and on Facebook. They are available there in full. And you can watch back to some of the crazy conversations we've had, not just about what happens on the pitch, but also what happens off the pitch. Bosafa, referees, VAR, all of those things we've discussed at length and in full. And we've also had some interviews, some very knowledgeable people who are inside the craft. Remember, the show is on every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. during AFCON. And then 12:30 on Friday in the afternoon, we're there. Then we also do watch-alongs on the weekend of the Big Three, Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates. But also, should Bafana, Banyana, or even Banyana Bastyle when we're playing in the Champions League, we also do watch-alongs of that. So please look at that. I also do videos, guys. Support my videos, my short-form videos, my long-form videos. They are available on TikTok and on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to Janine. Thank you to Radzani. Thank you to Una. Let me just get your full name as it appears here so I can give you the props. Una Marine Z West. Thank you. Z. Nyabong. Also, yes, if you want to support the platform, go on over to YouTube, click subscribe, click join. For 20 Rand a month, you can support the platform, but also you get access to the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is where it gets hot. That's where we speak about these things non-stop for hours on end. There's hundreds of messages. We go back and forth. We banter, we discuss, we bring up a ton of things that we don't have a 2-hour limit like we have on the show. So if you want to contribute to the show, but also be part of our WhatsApp group, go on to YouTube, subscribe. It's the Overthinking Football Show. Subscribe, click on join, 20 Rand a month. You get access and you also help me keep the lights on. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me. For a very, 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 very long night where hopefully Bafana wins, or else that second match is going to be so hard to watch. Thank you, guys. Bye.